Hey, friends. Superheroes, am I right? Aren't we all kinda sick and tired of the junk we've been getting in the superhero genre? Well, this time I have a superhero movie to share with you, only it's a good one. You can tell because it wasn't made in Hollywood. We're talking about Valentine, the Dark Avenger from 2017. Our story goes like this. Batavia City is plagued by street crime despite looking kinda upscale. Our heroine is a college dropout. Her mom doesn't understand her and they argue a lot. Arguments her brother tries to mediate and diffuse. This family has a case of the sads because their dad, a well-respected cop, shot himself after being accused of a corruption scandal. Meanwhile, this guy, Bono, is trying to pitch a movie idea about a superhero who can inspire people to stand up to crime and build a better future. But everyone passes on the project, so Bono figures he needs to promote the idea in a different way. He and a stylist friend decide they need to find a chick who can fight crooks for real and look cool doing it. Put her in a costume and then videotape her kicking crook ass. He'll upload these videos to YouTube and Valentine will become an overnight sensation. Oh, you sweet summer child, you. That's not how YouTube works. Believe me, I know. Then, by happenstance, he sees a waitress harassed by some handsy customers, and our heroine steps in and hands them their lunch, and I don't mean what they ordered off the menu. She's really good at Silat, a martial arts style, so Bono talks her into becoming Valentine to help pitch the movie. She agrees, thinking they're planning to make a film, but Bono has other ideas. Turns out he has a secret agenda for the Valentine project. As Valentine takes on more street thugs, the town is abuzz. But also, meanwhile, a new super baddie and his minions are attacking the police and the police department's administration. This ultimately leads to a confrontation where Valentine has to step up and handle the situation because the cops can't. Who is the Shadow and what does he really want? Can Valentine inspire the people of Batavia City? Valentine was based on a comic book series, and from what I can tell, they honor the lore and the roots of the character. Again, unlike what Hollywood has been doing. This one hails from Indonesia and was promoted as the first superhero action movie showcasing the Indonesian martial art form called Silat. Silat focuses on a mixture of strikes, joint locks, and weapons, and you see all of that in the various fight scenes between Valentine and the baddies. In our cast is no one you've probably ever heard of. The version I saw was dubbed, so there might be some voice actors you may know if you're into that. The only name brand actor here seems to be Matthew Settle, who plays the mentor, Bono. He was in U571 and a sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer, Band of Brothers, and the TV series Gossip Girl. Estelle Linden plays Valentine. Really liked her, and I thought she carried off both parts she has to play, the hero and her secret identity, quite well. Valentine kinda reminded me of the CW show Arrow in some ways. She has a sorta team that helps her fight crime, for one thing. But there's also a super powerful mastermind baddie the hero encounters multiple times. A baddie hiding his true identity behind a mask. Arrow and The Flash ran into these kind of guys just about every season, and eventually the baddie was revealed in the season finale. We kind of have the same thing here with Shadow. a sort of low-rent Bane who is so clever, he masterfully plans and controls all outcomes in confrontations with the police, and, to a lesser extent, Valentine. He's 10 steps ahead of everyone, making him appear unstoppable. His trio of minions give Valentine an obstacle to overcome before the big boss fight. Now, I won't spoil it, but it ultimately doesn't make sense that the baddie kills NPC cops, given what he finally reveals he's after at the end. Aside from that, there are a few wonky CGI explosions during a big car chase. They aren't too bad, but they aren't quite up to Hollywood standards on that. Even so, these fireballs are mostly quick enough to overlook them. If you don't have a Hollywood budget for effects or explosions, which Valentine doesn't, you have to concentrate on characters and fights, which this scrappy little picture does to good effect. This was a fairly low-budget production, again on a par with the CW, but that isn't a deal-breaker. Valentine is mostly going after street thugs, and over the course of the picture levels up, so she can confront the main baddie and his minions. She's not perfect. She has things to learn. She takes some hard hits and makes mistakes. I liked how we see her costume evolve and the additions of gadgets and weapons and a motorbike and stuff. All of that evolution and development makes sense. She doesn't just start out in the perfect crime-fighting costume and everything, instantly just being the bestest crime fighter ever. By the end of the movie, Valentine is fully established and ready to go out taking down crooks in Batavia City as a fully fledged superhero. Honestly, if we're gonna keep having superhero movies, I think we need less of this kind of horse manure and more scrappy stuff like Valentine. They do tease a sequel at the end, but sadly, that's never come to pass. Which is a shame, because I'd like to see more of this heroine in action. While Valentine never hits the heights of the 1989 Batman or Spider-Man No Way Home, it does tap into that grounded, sort of realistic world aesthetic, which helped make the early seasons of Arrow and The Flash so interesting. And this one has a lot to recommend it, so I'm giving Valentine the Dark Avenger 2.5 paws up. It may not be perfect, but it's well worth a watch and a nice change of pace from the crappy Marvel stuff we've been saddled with since the start of Phase 4. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.